Hello, this is Gerald van Waas. In this video I hope to have more clarity, to show you more clarity of the differences of the French words porte and je porte, because they have two completely different meanings, door and carry. And I already gave an attempt to explain it, but I think I can do that more clear. So this video is meant to do that, and I will put it against other words without the R, like pot, which means pot, the same thing as in English, and pâte or door, which is again showing a different reference. Let's see how I can explain all these things based upon the positions of every letter in a time and spatial frame as they are intended to have in the background as the rules how to focus upon the letters. And I'm not going to explain how I come to it, but I will show you what I have as results, and I will explain it well enough what the positions are. So the positions, there are always three sorts of positions. I put them all into one frame here. The middle positions are the spatial references, which contains 9 kinds of letters are related there. There are also 9 positions which are a little bit wider away, which are about time frames. So this is about movements, things that move, that change. So they are always presented in 2 positions. So you see from one position to the next, like the E, the O and the P that you can see there. Horizontal, vertical and diagonal as well, and in the position of from the starting point or a little bit further or really at the edge is also one of the rules that I will apply and that I applied. And then the last couple of categories are always about contextual connection. So here we have the frame of the letters without immediate attaching them to each other, just putting them into the total frame of letters that we recognize at that point. That's not the easiest method, but you can still recognize it, and I will explain it, what is really happening here. The T is a position in space, and it always has to be somewhat in the vertical. Here I had presented it before as somewhat in the middle, a bit more vertical, but all of its directions also tends to move it away, even with the E attached to in porte, move it away from the place into a time frame. So it's all is about a timing. There's a certain timing involved. E is about timing, O is about timing, P is about timing, R is connected with timing. So all of these points, which have only one position in space, which is the T, will have some move or change. So anyhow, and how can we visualize this a bit better? You know that porte means door, and it is a physical entry. So you have a physical position in T, which is a position, which is a functional position, which is also dependent on some move or another that you do with it, and this move is explained with all the other letters. And there is the O, an opening underneath, there's a P, a pressure underneath, there's R, a connection that is going to be made to it. And this connection is of course made at the doorknob and at the door opening, and it opens further in time. That's what a door is. It's an object with a placement in time, which you don't access it in the middle, but somewhat away from the middle. So here I still showed it in the middle, but it's actually a bit further away. And then you open it further in time. That's more or less the way how you can understand what's happening in door with the letters, why these letters are there in the first place. And I explain the letters and the conclusions of the letters again. P is always involved at the end of that, all the kind of timings as a process or the results of a process. Always related with a moment or an opportunity, the right moment. The R takes the opportunity, of course, because it will connect the kind of things that are related with context. Why are they related with context? If you have, for instance, two moments, let's say, you have a moment here and a moment there, and something is evolving towards that moment, it is not very practical to follow that via the time frame. Say, oh yeah, it moves over there and it moves over there. The most important thing is, no, I connect to this moment to the other moment. I connect it directly via the R. That's what it does. It takes the opportunity to connect directly to what is needed to make things more clear. And the T is always related with the place, of course. We know that already, a functional place. So it will get a function there. It will be used as a function, and it will be used there at a certain time. All this whole puzzle is really very well describing the door. But how does it come then that the door, or porte, is used at one stage as a door and another stage as to carry? And that's because it's exactly the same word. It's exactly the same word. So we have to understand the word very well to understand why, if we use it differently in a different context, because that's what's happening here as well, how does it come that it leads to such a different way how it is used, how it is described as what it means? It seems to be completely different. Now the porte as an object starts from P, the process, and this process, you see, is connected, and it's connecting itself to the object in T, and that makes it an object that shows an opportunity to use this process to connect to the object in time to open up at some point. If I would use it as a verb is not about a place, is not about there are three kinds of frames. You have a frame of the positions in space. That's one kind of thinking. That's one kind, and there are the objects. So there we focus on the object. There's a second frame in my theory. There are only three frames. There you focus on the objects in the timings, in the processes. And there's a third one which you connect via, like I explained, via R, via the context. And context can make the things change a bit, and so we have some when there are some letters involved with context, you can switch the context from there as well. What is a context that is switched in porte? When I use it as a verb, I already told you it's connected with time much more easily. It's the same thing, but it will, instead of that, it has to wait for the right timing, which the objects in place always have to do. It will be taken away in that timing. When I use, for instance, the word je or I, je is related with time, and it is like a leading person that takes the time to develop. When I take the time to go to the opportunity that is not, it can be a door, an opening for a door, an opening for in a process that is there. This now becomes the opening of a full process. I can take the full process. I have this opening the whole time. It becomes an opportunity. That's a full open door. We don't have to wait for it anymore in the physical sense. It's there all the time, and I can carry it along because I have the association that I have the key to open the door the whole time. That's more or less you have to see the change of positions. And I hope that was clear enough, because I had some trouble in explaining it, what's really happening there. I found it really weird that the same word could mean something else, but it is this jump in context to time, from space to time, that makes it not just an opportunity at some point, but an opportunity the whole time. That's the only difference. And without the R, I still have other words. So we have, instead of PORTE, I can also have POTTE, POTTE. So I leave out the R. And POTTE, we know what POTTE is. Also there is the opening, an opening somewhere. There's a pressure from inside, a pressure which wants to come out. Not at some stage, but it is, of course, it also is related with or a moment, the perfect moment where the pressure can be released, or the thing inside could even be ready for usage, ready to open it. It's also there. It is that it waits for that opportunity to be opened, but it is, of course, again, an object. It's a placement in T. It's an object that has this ability with a pressure from inside that can be opened and can be released to the perfect moment that of choice, of course. One pot, different pot, and except and when I don't use the o, but the a, I have, of course, the word PATE. It's not PATE, it's pa. I'm always confused sometimes when I switch languages. PATE it is actually, so it's a little bit with more H to it as well. The H is, you see, it breeds space, it breeds development. That's also a letter underneath. I'm not going to explain it here. I just leave PATE. It's not with one A, like here, then it would look like this with some pressure from a center point of vision, and that's it. No, it is with a long A, so there is this repetition of or development in parts, even though PATE is written with one A, which is strange, extra sign onto it, as if it wants to keep everything into one position. So it's seen as from one position. PATE is this P, which develops over time in different variations. You can see and sense it very well, how it can be related with DO. It's the different pressure. This pressure is spread over time. It's spread over time, but it's within one space. It's all happening within one space. And that is easy to sense, of course, as the DO. The other one, the port was, of course, the door. Here's the door. You see, it's not much difference, but you see how much differences you can create in such a short space. And the at the end from PATE is there as well. It's this slow development, or the beginning of a development somewhere from a place. It's the development that comes from that place T, that is, of course, showing this pressure from within that fits to the meaning of the word door, PATE. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope the explanation was a bit more clear, because there were strange and difficult contradictions that I hope I explained well enough. There's some books there, there's some Facebook page, there's a web page as well, and so on. Thanks for watching, bye.